Okay, so it is Saturday morning. We're going to be going up to Strom and we're going to be seeing the guys at Apex Neuro. So I'm going to be doing a little vlog behind the scenes for the day. I'm going to be doing some testing on my brain, see what's going on. So, cue travel montage. So I'm heading in with Mr. OPH.
Good morning.
What's going on, Rick?
Yeah, let's go and fuck shit up.
Let's go and fuck up his podcast.
Fuck up
hey,
his
Rick.
podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this. Whatever.
We are Mr. Richard Foster.
We is experts.
Yep, Laz 2.0. Much better looking, funnier, handsomer, stronger, better dressed.
Worse hair.
Better hair. Better in every way, Laz. Fuck you.
I got you, bro. I got you, bro.
This is Rick's ever-growing collection of broken cars. Nothing loves better.
He loves a car that doesn't work.
I think it's just he breaks them. I just think he's not a very good driver.
Why are you here?
I mean, literally at your invitation.
No, it's before 10 o'clock, which is... I saw you under 12 hours ago.
You did, when you turned up at my house without an invitation.
Strong and Ben Badger.
They've got. We'll just give them a mic.
You chose to live in the middle of town next to Crack Central. You don't need an invitation. I'm actually just ordering the door signs for the different offices. So, Apex Neuro.
Yep.
Dr. Evelina Johansson, chiropractor. Laura Oldman, accounts and HR.
When did she become your HR?
Since we had a payroll. So 2 days ago. She may have to co-share the office with you.
Yeah, I can't imagine any more stressful job than trying to manage the HR for a company that you were the boss of.
I feel like that's a direct attack on me rather than...
Yes, that's how it's intended.
Okay, good.
And the guys from Apex Neuro are setting up in here.
Just a bit of DIY to do first.
Yeah.
We'll with you in a little bit.
And this is what Rick's going to be doing today. Building a PC.
Yeah, for a young person, I care about the youth that are our future.
Nonce.
So he's 16 and a boy. I might be a nonce. Anyway, Rebecca Compsty, former World's Strongest Woman competitor, I think current World's Strongest Woman competitor, her son is building a computer and she kept messaging me asking me questions about stuff. And in the end I was like, how about I'll do it with him, because trying to help someone build a computer when they've never done it before over the phone is a pain in the ass.
So that's your way of saying you're basically hanging out with someone's child today?
They're 16, so it's fine.
Wasn't masturbating.
Anyway.
So I'm Sarah Steele. I'm one half of Apex Neuro.
I'm Rob, I'm the other half, Apex Neuro.
We have recently just set up a advanced pain performance clinic here at Strom. This is the first of our physical clinics, although we do a lot of visits to athletes and pro bodybuilders. We do brain performance assessments. We also look at how athletes are engaging with their muscles from both a physical perspective and a brain-based perspective. And we treat pain, so a lot of obviously pro bodybuilders have accumulated things like tendinitis, general fatigue, they're no longer getting out of training what they need. So we will assess that and then use kind of advanced non-invasive tech to treat those issues. So from a brain performance perspective, we offer two different types of assessments. We've got EEG based, which is probably the one most people will be familiar with. That looks at the state of the brain, so it will look at your different brain waves. So your different brain waves correlate to how your brain is performing. That is our most advanced assessment that gives us the most information, so people generally will go for that if they want to improve their general function. If they've got a high level job, for example, and their attention isn't where they need it to be, we can use that information to help guide that process. We also have a slightly more easy to access approach, which is based on NIRS, which is essentially blood flow in the brain. It shows how active your brain is and your ability also to keep your brain in a very focused state, which most people could get some kind of benefit out of. So initially, the benefits kind of break down depending on what your main goal is. We have clients that come in with the cognitive function or the brain health and performance goals. This is the most advanced level of our approaches because it helps people really understand how their brain works on a personal level and ways to really optimize that during their day-to-day life. The secondary one is people with pain, so you can have chronic pain. We have patients who have fibromyalgia, which is pain essentially all of the time in varying degrees, so we can help treat that so they can live their lives and essentially achieve their goals. And also people who've got acute pain, so they might have had an injury or something is going wrong while they're training and their body doesn't feel as it should. they get the most benefit because it's very quick. It's non-invasive, there's no pain to kind of treat, and they can go back to training on the same day. So often they come in, they'll have the treatment and they're back in the gym immediately. So the two kind of options we work with, and sometimes people put them together, is the performance side and the pain side. So today we're going to play with all of the kit. We're going to start with an EEG assessment. We're going to go for the full 20-minute version, which is actually quite long for the brain to sustain that level of attention. So that's going to look at your ability to turn your brain on, your ability to keep your concentration in a certain place, your ability to regulate your stress response, and your ability to kind of bring your brain back into more of a controlled state of almost like flow. And we'll get EEG data in quite in detailed report, which we can use then to inform strategies or treatment options. We will also use a NIRS kit to measure activation in the brain, so how much your brain is utilising blood and oxygen. And if there's any outstanding pain issues, which we've had a bit of a conversation about, we're going to treat. It seems to be quite low level pain, but also it is still causing some issues during your kind of day-to-day functioning, so we're going to treat that as well.
So we're going to get to have a look inside the Supplement Review's brain.
We'll see what's happening.
Cobwebs, I'm telling you. Cobwebs and memes. Yeah, so if you see a vast improvement in the quality of the content on this channel from today.
This is why.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's not our fault.
So, how do we do? My brain dead?
Not exactly. So to give you an overall view, what we can see on here is your ability to regulate your stress is super high. You got a score of 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that's a very high stress regulation score. So based on kind of your past career and stuff, that seems to be in alignment with probably skills that you've developed or quite natural skills. Your impulse control is very close second, it's an 8.3. Focus capacity is where you start coming down, you've got a 6.5. As discussed, like that can be down to things like it isn't completely silent and there are people moving around. Your endurance is 5.7, so your ability to stay focused for a long time is where you're starting to need improvement. So max activation was a lower score, as was activation baseline. So your brain overall is quite overactive. As part of the assessment, we do a kind of eyes closed task, which gives us the best data as to how your brain is operating when there's no stimuli coming in. It's saying here that your mind stays very active even when there aren't many demands environmentally. So that can lead to kind of an overthinking, quite stressed, quite active brain at all times, which based on this, that's where you get the most kind of benefit from training how to quiet your mind and how to kind of learn to regulate that. There's also a kind of warning signs for that are things like being unable to sleep or having difficulty with sleep, working yourself to exhaustion. Often people like that are quite perfectionist and they really want to get things right, and there's always a flip side. You'll probably go all in on everything, but there is part of you that really will work yourself into the ground, and it's learning that kind of how cognitive load works and how your brain, much like if you're training, overtraining doesn't mean that you're going to get more gains or more benefits. What it's going to do is you're just going to hit kind of injury, it's the same in the brain, but the brain will start to come up as like symptoms of stress, or when people start to feel like, my mood's not the same, or my ability to stay rested isn't the same. They're the markers of that. You might be taking the wrong thing. So for someone like you might be taking a stimulant because you're like, I want the best out of my brain, but your brain's already very active. So what you might need is something actually that's going to do the opposite, that it's going to start being able to regulate your mind. Or you might need to start programming in throughout your day parts of the day where you allow your brain to kind of not have a task to think about, and getting used to that sort of downtime so that you're not constantly operating at maximal. No one, as much as it's nothing to do with personality, it's to do with actual like brain capacity. You can't push your brain constantly and expect it to just keep giving and giving and giving.
Yeah.
You have to be able to learn to turn it off in a way that works for you, and I think that's where it can be quite good having some external help to say, let's work out strategies together that will help you do that. You'll find what you're doing when you're trying to concentrate will be such better quality, especially like you've just gone into more of a self-directed industry, it's all on you. You find people who have transitioned to that kind of lifestyle, they tend to have a profile like this where they really want to do well, they're really motivated, there's drive, but they are constantly working. And for us, it's teaching those people that actually mirror that in the gym. All you do is end up with an injury.
So, we finished with the brain scan. I'll put some of the slides up over some of the audio that we just recorded to show you guys. Very on the money for how I feel like my brain works. I have another thing where I have this sensation that sometimes I need to swallow, and the guy's going to hit me with the laser and see if that makes any difference.
This bit of tech uses effectively vibration to create sound. So the vagus nerve responds really well to sound itself, and it uses your chest cavity. So the device vibrates on your chest cavity and on bones to create a sound internally, which is all about resonant frequencies of basically everything. Same thing as when you like tap a glass. If you then match that note, you can break the glass. Same thing to get your vagus nerve to respond. So this creates the right sound to be able to resonate that nerve. It's called nerve toning.
Sit that on your chest there.
Sure. On the skin or on...
Yeah, preferably.
Well, that's it. Put that on as well.
I'll put in a 10-minute one on. There's headphones there.
I'm Rob, I'm the other half of Apex Neuro. Sarah's knowledge is more in the brain and the neuroscience side. She's a neuroscientist by trade, where me, I'm a sports scientist, so mine is more on the physiology and the more easy to access bits, if that makes sense. What I wanted to do really is explain the differences between the two offerings. So we have a pain offering and a performance offering as the main two areas that we treat essentially. On the pain side, what we look at is physical symptoms of pain, and we try to take the edge off those using various non-invasive techs, and that then impacts Sarah's side because it takes some demand off the brain, which then should free up some cognitive function and some cognitive capacity to be able to increase the performance of your brain from that point of view. On the performance side, what we try to do is we look at the neural drive, which most people will refer to as mind-muscle connection, and we help to teach that through the tech that we have and layering that with sort of laser and bioelectrics. We can work out with people the best sort of paths to activate certain muscles, for example, or teach them what it feels like to activate that muscle if that's something that they're struggling with. So to give you an example, we're having Josh Maley come in. He talks about having a underdeveloped right side, basically, like arm and chest, and we're going to try and help him increase his recruitment and increase how that feels so that he can train more easily over time. We start with sort of the chronic end is probably the best way to explain it. So if you're with fibromyalgia, for example, we've had very good feedback from, same as like osteoarthritis, etc. If you're on a gen pop end of the spectrum, but also up to like tendonitis, scars, etc. Muscle repair, joint repair, that sort of thing. So there's a whole spectrum that can be treated with that sort of thing. And then obviously the performance side is more relating to how your brain and your physiology talk to each other and making sure that we optimize that.
Okay, so if you are a bodybuilder or a powerlifter and you have a nagging injury, you've tried everything, and you want to try something a bit different and non-invasive, so no opening you up to tinker around outside.
No needles, etc.
Yeah, come give these guys a try.
Definitely.
Wonderful, thank you very much, man.
Appreciate it.
So thank you very much for that. That was a really unique experience. So if people are interested in your services, what's the best way they can find some information?
The best place to go is to the website, so apexneuro.co.uk. We offer video consultations initially, which are about half an hour, just to discuss either problems with pain, performance, or if you're a cognitive client, we can discuss that with you as well. The booking system is all on there, so it's really easy. People can just log on and they can come into the clinic, or we can speak to them online. So there's a couple of options depending on where you're based, because we are now officially at Strom on Saturdays, and then we will be expanding in the very near future into more clinics and also working with athletes on site.
Oh, nice. And I'm right thinking the consultation, the video consultation is a free consultation.
Yes.
To see whether the service fits.
Yes.
And you can find details of the different treatments and the prices on the website.
Yeah, exactly.